Hello, everyone. This is Chala Dinkoy, CEO and founder of the Repositioning Expert, joining you live with another Tuesday Tea Time with Chala. And this is the age-old question that I get from all of my clients, and it is, what should I be posting in my social media? Wait, let me take a sip of what is supposed to be my tea, but has not been tea and has been chocolate protein powder in a hot chocolate, even though it's getting warm. Ooh, she's hot. Okay, so here's how it goes. Clients hire me and they hire me to do, strategic work, which, we're working on their messaging, we're working on their pitch, and we're trying to land large corporations. But in the meantime, they're either on board of, they've hired a third party, whether it's like an offshore or in-house, and they're doing something on their social media, or they haven't even gone there yet, and they're just really, really scared and are clueless and are looking to what's in being said and done in the industry around social media. They're in those two camps, and whether they've hired someone or not, without having the actual strategy of the positioning and the actual doing the homework of figuring out who are we going to target and reposition to, and based on what pain points are we going to own in the market, it's really hard to figure out what your content needs to be. So what today I'm going to talk about is some ideas of how to format the content and like what the content could be, but not what the positioning should be, because that's custom. That's all according to when we do the work around who's the target, what's their number one pain, what are we going to do and say to demonstrate that we can own the solution in our industry around that one very specific problem to get a hook into that industry that we're serving, that we're targeting, and so on. So this is all around like content format. What can it look like? And maybe it'll jog some ideas, and maybe it'll give you some new inspiration to go and talk to whoever is doing your marketing and whoever is doing your content. So here are some trends and this is all for B2B, although you can definitely do it for B2C as well. The biggest trend that I'm seeing, and I've talked about this a couple of weeks ago, is short video content and live. So this is live. So I'm encouraging a lot of my clients to go ahead and do this. And so, the content should be, now this is a little bit longer. Podcast formats are going long and long and long. They're going all the way up to 2 hours. But the short video content, and what's interesting is, and I'll go through this again, is that the TikTok's short style, so it's 15 to 60 seconds, is getting a lot more traction, even in LinkedIn. That's what people are now looking for and they're interested in. And of course, live, which is what this is, live, but never forget that there's always a call to action. So that's something that I want to underline under all of this content, no matter what format it is, no matter where it is and what it looks like. If there's no way for anyone to reach out to you, whether in your links or in the actual whatever you say, like for example, I just finished a short, I think it was a minute. So I try to do every day 1 minute reels. And what I'm trying to promote is my upcoming masterclass, and it's called what the heck is it called? How to wow pitches that wow buyers. And what we're trying to do is every day I'm posting a video that says corporate buyers hate, and then what they hate. So today was technical jargon. Corporate buyers hate technical jargon. And the call to action is, in the video I'm saying, and join us on June the 18th for, the masterclass on how to pitch to buyers, so to wow them. So that's kind of what we're talking about. And, there's a URL extension that is in the actual notes, which then goes to, you can join in the link in my bio, which then goes to the Pitches That Wow extension of repositioner.com. So always have a CTA. All right. So social media content trend number one, that it's how it's made videos. I have been obsessed with these on my own. And these, you don't have to have a product. Even if you have a service, you can take them through the thought process. You can take them through part of, and I'm going to talk about this. Number two trend is behind the curtain. So basically, it's how to create anything, how to create the process of what you do, how to do the planning. Even if you are a coach, how to do the coaching that you do, like step number one, step number two, step number three. You can break down the content into each step. So the how to, show people how to do things. So that's how it's made, how it's done. Number two is behind the curtain. So inside the production, inside a meeting, inside the workspace, inside a party. So I remember Gary Vee, who is like this renowned, as you know, he's a social media guru. He's one of the first people that ever started to talk about social media, and that was like decades ago. And like he and his family had a wine business that he catapulted to success, and he used social media to do it. And then he because of that success, he started a social media agency, and now he is like the guru of social media. And when I listen to him often, I've read so many of his books, and what he talks about is the new trend in social media is going to be just total candor, no holds barred, and just showing them, just setting up a camera. And in fact, there are, it's such a joke, but there are people making a living by just setting up a camera and just sleeping. Like there are people who will, kind of like the Truman Show, who will pay to see you sleeping. Now, for B2B, I'm not suggesting that. But what I am saying is behind the curtain type of things that you could do with clients, with your, internal. Let's say you're a solopreneur like me. You can do just lives or videos, or like one reel, like a 1-minute reel on how do you do show them or give them an insight into your thoughts and feelings around how you do things, or the process of how you do things. So behind the scenes, behind the curtain. So that's what Gary Vee always says, is that's going to be so popular that's what people are looking for, is that to be the fly on the wall, to be a voyeur, to see the back of the curtain, behind the curtain. Okay. Number three, B2B content, social content format that you can do is hero profile. And this is something that we're doing with a client right now. And for example, and we're using employee advocacy. So one of why we're using social media right now for them is for recruiting. And they're in the construction industry, which very, very hard to recruit for, very transient, it's super competitive, and the hiring, it has to be, hiring is slow and firing is fast kind of thing. And what we've discovered is that so many people are looking for jobs because they just don't trust their employer. And so that has been the cornerstone of this campaign that we're doing, where the employee advocacy is that their own employees are stepping up and doing videos and testimonials, and which we're gonna turn into a social media campaign, using it as the basis of the content to pinpoint to how they've been able to engender trust, and how they've been able to talk about this and implement it and put it into action in their own company culture. And they have the spokespersons, the spokespeople are the actual people who work for them. So that's hero profile. Number four, B2B content structure that you can use for social media is leader vulnerability. I talked about this before as a trend, is now when executives are stepping away from legal departments who are trying to, protect their image, protect the legalese, and they're saying what's on their mind, and they're saying truthfully what they think about the industry or the company or the trouble they're in or whatever it is, but they're being vulnerable. This is definitely what people are looking for. This is for B2B and B2C. These are consumers and buyers, and just everyone is looking for authenticity. And most people are afraid to do it, especially large corporations, but this has become the trend. In fact, they were comparing how curated content versus off the cuff, executive vulnerable, speaking directly to the camera kind of content. And when they measure brand trust and brand credibility and brand liking, obviously the one that's more authentic with the leader speaking up is much higher in comparison to all the other curated content that's like generated by a third party or by, worse, God forbid, ChatGPT. Number 5, I should probably take a sip because my throat is getting dry. Day in the life, customer stories. I love it. Or influencer marketing. Now, this has been done. We've talked about influencer marketing in LinkedIn on B2B, where users of the product or people in the industry who've taken note of a certain company, their service or their product, are going to bat and putting their own name and reputation on the line and presenting them to their followers and the industry. And a better even look at this is day in the life of a customer. So these are like stories of the customer who, people do this for actual, video campaigns that they want to put onto their website. But I'm talking, this is like off the cuff, holding your phone, going in, having interviews, or just, having meetings or Zooms and recording it live. Very informal, very chat based, but these all organic and, low tech, but very, again, vulnerable and available and transparent. And how wonderful is it to hear of somebody who is in the same industry as you, who is in the same problem and pain as you, and who has used this vendor services to get over that pain, and, to hear about what has happened to them. So think about testimonial, but as a day in the life of a customer story. The next one, and the last one, is when one of the biggest trends is, of course, AI. And now AI, I think I read something like AI related searches, like AI content related searches. So people are trying to learn about what AI can do in marketing, in the business world, has gone up 550%. So everybody recognizes that it's here, and we have to do something to benefit from it, or to learn from it, or to protect ourselves from it, whichever one. And so what AI is being used very successfully in marketing, other than just generating content or content ideas, is segmenting. So if you have a whole bunch of customers, it can segment it into those who are, like hot, warm, cold. It can segment it any way that you want in terms of people who are a certain way down the funnel, the purchase funnel, or it can segment them by demographics. It can segment them by however you interact with them in your funnel. And what then it does, so for example, in my database, I segment by CEO, and like owner, founder, and employee. And then further segmentation could be B2B to B2C, people who are going to be viewing it. I have my upcoming masterclass. I've segmented by people who have already taken my courses and brand new people that we're reaching through more paid advertising or through new LinkedIn funnels. So there's numerous ways that you can segment, but once you've segmented, it's to personalize the content that you're doing, at least addressing the people by their segmented names in a way that they're going to self-identify, and then making that part of your content strategy. So these are some of the ways that you could format what you're posting in your social media. And to answer the question of what you should post in your social media, it should always be the solution to the pain that you're specialized in for the target industry that you have picked as your niche. Some of the things that help in rounding this off is to make your posts controversial, take a stance, make it authentic, make it unpolished. I mean, to a certain extent, it can't be so wobbly that people can't watch it, or it can't be so, loud that people can't hear you. Vulnerable. Like, since I've started doing this, I don't know how many times I was watching some of the old ones where, like, I spilled tea on myself. I had to come, like, go and clean it during the live. I've got people walking outside here. Like, these are all very human. So make it human in all of the formats that I talked about. Grab attention in the first 3 seconds. If your title and the topic is not relevant to your audience, to your niche, kind of, you've lost them there. And then, of course, as I talked about, the TikTok style on all formats, on all platforms. So it's short, it's unpolished, it's authentic, and it's just available. And the more you do them, the more you do different ones, the better. Of course, that sounds like a nightmare to a very busy CEO who's running like a $10-20 million company. But this is for all of us. And even if the $10 million CEO can't do it every day, he or she should try to do it once a month, right? And let all the other executives, or all the other ways that I talked about, behind the curtain, the process, the people, the client stories, do all of that. All right, everyone. That's all from me today, and I look forward to seeing you next week. Take care.